Autumn is my favorite time of the year, but this is also the time when I try to complete out all of my goals by the end of December, which ultimately leads to a stream of burnout. So I'm going to teach you some new strategies on how to minimize burnout and effectively plan your goals all within my new Notion setup. If you're new to my channel, my name is Hannah, and I'm still trying to figure out what exactly I'm trying to do with my channel. But productivity improvement is a passion space of mine. My ultimate objective is sharing with you to help you kickstart your journey. So let's not waste any more time and let's dive right in. Since the theme of this template is autumn, I went with a bit of that dark academia / holiday theme since we have a ton of holidays coming up in the next coming months. But you're more than welcome to change this up however you'd like, adjust the colors, the backdrops based on your own preference. To begin, let's talk about what is around the overall page. I always like to start out with a quote or a motivation note for the quarter, and I chose change is inevitable, but growth is optional. Since autumn is the start of changing colors and seasons, it just means that change is just constant and unavoidable part in our lives. But I think growth is dependent on how we respond to that and learn from those changes, which ultimately means it's a choice that we make. So I think setting a quote helps me set the stage of what my goals are, but at the same time, it helps me recognize what I actually want to accomplish. Unlike my previous design, the navigation bar is on your left-hand side. I included a new page called the Insights Dashboard using Notion's new chart feature that provides a full insight of your entire Notion workflow. I've included a couple of new databases like the Thanksgiving book and the holiday gift guide as extra pages to help you plan your holidays using my Notion guide. That way you can do all of your important holiday to-dos all within this Notion homepage. And then the rest of the pages are the databases that make the foundations of the template. So I recommend that you do not delete these or move them, but we'll go ahead and deep dive into all these databases as we go deeper into our walkthrough. On the right-hand side, you have your goals that are all filtered by the month that we're currently in. So since we're in September, all of your September goals are going to populate at the very front of the page. If you set some goals for a different month, you won't see them here just because we're just not in that month yet. We also have some dedicated tabs showing the goals that you've completed for the month, and then a tab displaying all of your goals. Scrolling below that, you have your tasks that are upcoming and due for the week. You also have sort of tabs to check on any overdue tasks that are complete, and then just in other tabs as well. Just below that, you have your most important calendar dates here with more than just one alternative view. That way you're not just stuck with this monthly table. I also have a weekly habit tracker to help you keep track of your ongoing tasks or reminders for the week. I think this is probably the most helpful tool in my template, especially for tracking ongoing habits or to-dos. And you can also check how often you're completing your habits using the habit analytic tracker below. For each month that you complete your habit tracker, the average of that month will populate in this beautiful donut chart here. This will further display your habit accomplishments month over month. Lastly, an inspo wall of things that you want to manifest or images to really help set the theme of your Notion page. Before we dive into setting up our first goal together, I want to go over some of the most important databases that are linked at the very front of this page. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I highly recommend that you do not delete the first 4 of the databases because these are the complete foundations of this template. They have custom formulas to help build out the entire ecosystem workflow of the relationships between the parent goal and then the child tasks that are in this overarching system design to support the Autumn Notion template. And then below that divider, we have those 3 additional pages with databases within the page, and they don't have any relations to the overarching goal system, but I'll just dive deeper into these pages as we go further into the walkthrough. I'm going to walk you through how to set up your first goal right at the very front of the homepage. I do follow the GTD system with my personal modifications of different frameworks that I've learned to use throughout my professional career, supporting me to get things done. So I created my own system that I found to be really helpful to allow allow me to achieve my goals more effectively. You can start by selecting a new tile or the new button appear just in the nav bar, but I'm gonna go ahead and click, and then a pre-designed goals template will pop up with some properties that relates and calculates the progress in completing this goal. And then at the center of the page, you're gonna have a section that tracks all of your tasks that actually roll up into the goal, and any notes and resources that you want to jot down just by clicking the today's updates. And then I also have an area to record your reflections once you've actually reached your goal, and then some mini insights to show the progress of how you achieved your overall goals. The way my blueprint works is from a traditional systems design perspective. You're gonna have your overarching parent, which is the goal, and then you're gonna have your child, which are the tasks. Anytime I think about setting a goal, I always start my goals with an action verb to help describe a specific measurable action or behaviors. I linked a free action verb guide in the description, so you can actually use that to help guide you describing your first goal. And then I'll actually show you how to write some of these examples together. I'm gonna call this one Plan for Autumn Notion Tour video. And as for the due date, it's always going to automatically select the date that you created this, but I would actually suggest that you select the first of the month and the last of the month. That way it doesn't feel like you're pressured to try to achieve this goal on a specific date, but rather that you're actually trying to achieve it for a specific month. And then for the months, you can select a pre-designed page that I created that actually collects and sorts goals in its respective month category. So anytime you select a month for a goal, that goal will automatically populate in that month so that you can have a full database of all of your goals for each month. So since we're in September, I'm going to select September. And then I'll show you what these pages look like a little later. For this progress bar, it is a custom formula that calculates the number of tasks completed. And honestly, who doesn't love a nice progress bar? And then the last property that I have is the date stamp on when you last made an update in this goal page. There are two hidden properties here that I just consolidated just to help streamline the template a little better. This is a task completion rollup that supports the completion percentage in the custom progress bar. So we definitely don't want to delete this relation from the task database. Otherwise, we'll no longer be able to track the progress of our goals. Now I'm just going to hide that, and I'm going to select a cover. And since we're kind of sticking with that dark academia, let me type that up and see what really pretty image we might find. Okay, we'll go with this one. I'm not too sure what this is, but it looks really pretty. Okay, I like this one. Now that we have the property areas covered and filled out, I'm just gonna start brain dumping a ton of tasks. So referring back to setting actionable tasks, I'm actually gonna pull up my action words library guide and select a verb that I wanna use to describe my first task. So let's say clarify. Okay, so the first task I'm gonna create is gonna be called clarify the objective of Notion Autumn Tour. And I'm gonna just start dumping a ton. Redesign a page for Notion Autumn Tour. Design a, actually I'm gonna say create a script to help me guide Autumn Tour setup. And I'll just dump in the last one, calling it something like reset Notion page template for Autumn Tour. When I read these tasks, it's giving me a clear signal of what I actually need to do next. And it also helps me prioritize my to-dos and keep me on track. That way, I don't spend too much time doing unrelated things. You can also set the due date directly in the table. And I also have a custom status bar of what status the task is currently at. Let's just say this one is going to be due today. It's going to say due with a blue color. And I'm going to just select the next one as overdue. So I'm going to select the day before. And now it says it's overdue with a red dot. And then the last one, I'll select tomorrow's date and it's gonna say in progress. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's set as complete. So if I actually check this off, it's now gonna say complete and it's green. So anytime you complete a task, your progress bar is actually gonna reflect that change right up here in the properties of the goals page. And even if you don't complete all the tasks that you had originally predetermined, you can actually still check complete and the progress bar will now reflect that you had completed this goal. But the task goal is still gonna show 25% of the task being complete. But since the goal page is the main domain of this hub, it will dominate the order of completion, which I hope that made sense. The task itself has its own template inside, so you can go ahead and jot down your daily updates here, or you can even use the notes or resource section and just press the today's updates and it will just populate a little toggle bar with today's date and the timestamp. And you can actually update in here as well. But what I sometimes like to do is I like to write my update in the task template and actually just copy that entire block and just paste it in here into the day that I made this update. So I'll show you what this looks like. So for this one, I can make this update something around created an objective of what my goals are in this autumn Notion tour. The objective is providing a new Notion template to users with an autumn theme. And you can just copy this block and paste. And I would click paste and sync. And now this red outline means that the block is synced to the original location of where the update came from. So anytime you make an update in either of the locations, it's actually going to sync up any of those changes directly in both of the spaces. And once I finish the goal, I usually like to write some reflections on how I was able to accomplish it. And you probably won't be creating more than one reflection, but I just made a button just to help consolidate the page. I have 3 prompts to help guide my reflections on how I accomplished the goal, what kind of habits I incorporated in order to help pursue it, and then what I can do better next time. I think this is just a good way to document how you felt during the process, and ultimately you'll begin to form a pattern of clarity and positive habits that you may want to incorporate into your life. For the first prompt, I would write something like, yes, I achieved the goal. And the second one, what are some habits you incorporated to pursue this goal? I will say something around like, I documented all of the expected tasks that I was planning to complete in order to finish this. Oh, I can't spell today. In order to meet this goal, and I made sure to have a daily task for this list for this goal in order to complete it. For the last prompt, what improvements can you make next time? If you feel like there's something that you could do better for the next goal, then you can go ahead and jot those down here. But if you feel like there's nothing more to add, then you can just say NA or just skip it. So charts is pretty brand new to Notion, and this is something that many of you were looking forward to, including myself. I actually obsess over data and analytics, so I was really excited about this, and I just thought of adding a couple of charts to help you visualize some of the progress made for a specific goal. On the left side, you're going to see a bar chart on the number of tasks complete versus incomplete, and then on the right side, you have a lovely donut chart that visualizes the number of the same type of tasks completed. So what this means is the chart is actually calculating how many of the same tasks are complete, not the total number of tasks completed. So let's actually change up this example. That way you can see what I'm talking about. So I'll just duplicate this one. And let's see what it looks like. So now that we have 2 of the same tasks, now it's actually showing the number of tasks and the count of the same task in the donut chart. Going back to your homepage, you have all of your to-dos and tasks that are actually sorted by what's upcoming for the week. So starting it in a weekly view helps consolidate all of your tasks. That way you don't get overwhelmed by seeing a huge to-do list. All of your completed tasks will be sorted under the complete tab, and any of the overdues will be sorted here. And then you have a collection of all your other tasks in the others. The autumn calendar is actually from the tasks database, but in the form of a nicely designed calendar view. Only your most important tasks or reminders are going to populate here, and this is how you're going to do it. You're going to create a reminder directly in this calendar because a calendar tag is actually going to automatically label the task. So if I just click a random date, there's going to be a tag right here that's called add to calendar, and it's going to automatically tag it with this calendar tag. And this calendar is actually sorted with only items that have this tag will populate in this calendar. Another way you can do it is in the task view as well. So if I just click and just create a random task, let's just call this one, go to the gym, and I head down to the add to calendar property and I just hit calendar. You can just click out of that and it's going to be today, and I scroll back down to the calendar view and voila, it's right here. Like I mentioned previously, I did set some alternative views if you're not a big fan of just seeing a monthly view of everything. So you have a week view of just for the week, and then you also have a timeline view as well, just for a much more concise, consolidated visual of just your overall week of your most important dates. My habit tracker has been a complete lifesaver for me to track ongoing to-dos or any tasks that I don't necessarily want to track as a goal. It's also a good way to reinforce a habit that you're having a hard time working on, or just trying to keep something a little bit more accountable for yourself. According to The Atomic Habit by James Clear, a habit tracker is designed to keep you on track on areas that you just want to improve in your life. So right now, I'm currently tracking ongoing habits such as my fitness routines, my reading goals, my content work, making sure I'm drinking enough water, my study area and my work, and just other areas where I just want to just keep a little bit more closer eye on. And all of these habits roll up into the habits analytics below. That way it actually calculates how often you completed a habit every single day. Let's see what I've done so far. Today is Friday the 13th, so I actually worked out today. I also did weights and I read a lot. And since I'm creating an autumn Notion tour right now, I'm gonna check off the content one. I drank all my water. I did a little bit of notioning, and I have yet to focus on any work stuff, my skincare, or journaling that I will do later this evening. I already filled out all the dates for the remainder of the year. So all you need to do is create a summary page just by clicking in here. And I'm actually just gonna open this up so you can see what it looks like. And I'm just gonna call this October summary. Click that. And now you're just gonna have to link the summary page to the dates of October. So just go ahead and go into all, or just wait until the month comes up and just scroll down and link it to the month that it belongs in. So I'm just going to do this very quickly just so that you can see what it looks like, and then just drag it all the way down. I'll just drag it down to the 15th. And now you can see all those habits are linked into the October summary page. So just to demonstrate it one more time, I'm just going to click some of them so that you can see like how it actually rolls up. I'm just going to click some random ones and just kind of show you what it kind of looks like. And when I head back out, you can now see that there have been some tasks that were completed and the percentages are showing up under the October summary template. The average chart shares what your total average was for each month you complete. So since we're in September, there just really isn't a lot to show right now. But since I just also did a test run of October, you can also see that the October summary is also showing up. So you can see what the average was compared to both of these months. And it's gonna be a very beautiful layout once you have all your months in. And then by the end of the year, you're actually going to have a really nice visual. That way you can get a sense and idea of where you might want to focus a little bit more on in the next coming year. For your inspo wall, feel free to add whatever image that you want. I was feeling this dark academia theme. So that's kind of what I'm gonna go with. And I'll show you how you can start adding images to your wall. You can just click this little button here just to create a new block to add an image. I like to use image sourcing sites like Unsplash because it does offer royalty-free images. I like this typewriter one here, so I'll just copy this image address and then head back over to my Notion page and just click inside and click embedded link, copy and paste. Okay, I need to take a break before I die of dehydration, so I'll be right back and then we'll finish it up with the Insights dashboard and the rest of the pages that I'm very excited to share. Okay, I'm back. Let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. Okay, I lightly touched on charts a couple of times in the demo, but I designed your all-in-one comprehensive Insights dashboard with Notion's limitations of all of your tasks and goals and monthly accomplishments all in my Insights dashboard. If you're obsessed with data interpretation, I did my very best to pull together various data charts based on what Notion can offer. It's pretty MVP in my opinion, and it does have limitations. So I was only able to pull what I could based on the limits they have. First row is going to be goals this month and tasks this month. From an Insights perspective, the first thing I want to see is how many goals I completed this month versus how many I actually didn't. So hopefully you'll be able to complete most of your goals that you set, but it's totally okay if you didn't because you can actually always move that goal into another month. But I actually like to keep a record of what I didn't complete. That way I can actually track how to better optimize planning for the goals in the future. Tasks this month are filtered into 3 tabs. You have upcoming, you have complete, and all. I think these are pretty self-explanatory with the number of tasks that are upcoming and then how many you've actually completed. And then you can see how many tasks that you have for the month that you can check in the Alls tab. The second row is tasks completed by the week. So tasks completed by week is in a line graph format showing you the number of tasks that you actually completed for each goal. I also included a tab for the previous week if you wanted to compare your task completion, but I will say that it is filtered relative to today's date, so it won't be a collection of the entire past week from Sunday to Saturday. The third row is tasks by goals and tasks by month. So tasks by goals is literally just a total of your tasks for all the goals you've set for the year, and then the task for the month is a total task that you have set for the month. The one caveat about this one is it does not include the tasks that are not in a goal, so any of the tasks or reminders that are not linked to a goal will not be counted in task by the month's goals chart. And then the final row is just the total of all goals for every month. So since it's September and we only have 4 goals, you're only going to see 4. But as you keep getting more goals in there, you're going to start seeing a very, very beautiful chart. So I'm very excited for you to actually visualize that. Once we get there, we'll definitely be revisiting the Insights dashboard during the monthly reset. So just hang on tight because I really think this is going to be a very useful tool for you, especially if you want to see better insights of just how your goals are doing. Oh, did you notice my little button to go back home? Okay, now let's talk about the months database. So this is where your goals that are tagged with one of these 4 months will roll up automatically in its respective page. Since most of our goals are in September right now, you can see how all of your ongoing goals are actually sorted and based on the progress update. But if your goal is complete, then it will actually be sorted at the very bottom. And of course, since we really love our charts and analytics, your monthly tasks and charts will also be sorted and included in this page. Your miscellaneous to-dos are just your daily tasks that don't roll up into a goal. So any of those loose end tasks like errands, reminders, market lists, watering your plants, all of that can easily be found here. And then in your all tabs is literally all of your tasks that you've ever created. Calendar is very self-explanatory. As I mentioned previously, the database is directly from your tasks and it has all those tabs on the home page. So I'll just kind of skip over this one. And now we're gonna go ahead and get into those 3 extra pages. We have your healthy habits tracker, your Thanksgiving book, and then your holiday gift guide, and then I will touch on the mobile dashboard at the end. The first one is your healthy habits tracker. It's pretty similar to your daily tracker, but this can be used for your daily food consumption or intake. I'm pretty conscientious over meeting my daily requirements, so I actually use this tracker to keep tabs of what I'm actually eating. I don't necessarily use it to eliminate or restrict any of the food groups, but rather keeping my diet accountable and making sure I'm actually intaking at least everything in the food group for the week. I didn't fill out today, so we can do this one together as a team. So I did have fruit and I had some grains. I ate some snacks today, and of course I have my coffee, and I actually can't remember what else I had, but let's just say, yeah, I'm just gonna say this is what I ate so far. And it also does roll up into an analytics tracker, and I also have the average chart in here as well. If you watch my summer Notion tour, the Thanksgiving book is gonna be pretty similar to the kitchen corner page. It has a gallery of all of your holiday recipes and a space that collects your ingredient list. You can record any recipe through the recipes gallery using this pre-generated template. And the template has some basic properties like the level of difficulty, personal rating, a URL for any links that you want to link it to, and then the ingredients list that rolls up into this gallery page. And you can use this ingredient list to capture the items to make this recipe, and then you can scroll down further below and you can document the instructions and so forth here. Continuing on with the holiday theme, the next major festivity is the season of giving. Most of us celebrate December holidays differently based on your heritage, your religion, your overall background, or anything along those lines. So I generalize this page as your holiday gift guide. And the first thing you're gonna see are blocks that appear like multiple databases, but luckily there are actually only 2 databases that you're gonna be working with, so it should be pretty easy to manage. The first row is gonna be all about you. And the bottom half is where you can track your person's profiles, gift ideas, and the progress on purchase once you've selected that perfect gift for that perfect someone. In the first row, I already created your personal card for you, but you're more than welcome to change this up however that you prefer. If you also want to update the name of yourself versus the tag that I have here, you can use this space for any ideas that you want to jot down and add links for gift references. And then below that, under the gifts header, you can use these cards to start tracking your wish list ideas. Template properties is gonna set the status as not yet started, and it already assigns it to you as well. And then you can also add a link and just the total cost of the items. And then you have a little space for any notes that you want to jot down. We can actually create a gift idea right now. I'm trying to think what I would want. A new set of pens. I actually really like Japanese pens, so I'm gonna type Japanese 0.2 pen. I'm gonna add a cover because I always like adding covers to most of my gallery pages. Okay, not really anything pen, so it has a little bit of that academia theme going on, so I like this one. And then you can just add any type of URL here. Okay, and we can click Fuji pen, so I'll just copy the link and drop it into the URL and click paste. And then the cost of them, I don't know, I think they're like $20 or something. So I'll just type in the cost of it. And if I feel like grabbing pictures of it as well, of like the pens that I'm looking for or that I really want, I'll just drop it in here as a reference. And there we go. There's actually more than one way to track your wish list other than directly in that personal card, which is why we have my wish list in a list format in the homepage. You can use this space to quickly jot down wish list items, and I've already preset the relations and roll-ups that specifically relates to your personal card. That way, anything that you drop in this table will automatically roll up into your personal card under the gift list item. The person's card process is exactly the same under the friends and family category. I have some preset identifier tags to tag family members or your best friend, but if you actually want to change this up or add more folks under that, you can definitely do that by just clicking this little plus sign here. So let's just say I want to add like a partner or something. And I'm gonna change it pink because that's the theme that I'm gonna go with. And you can just kind of manually adjust this and categorize it however you'd like. One thing I do recommend is that you title the person's card using the same name as the person tag to help the roll-ups identify and sort the appropriate person and their gifts together. So I'll show you how to make a card. So let's just call this one, yeah, we'll do best friend because I have that one as a person tag. So you just click the best friend tag, and then the gifts are going to be sorted by the person profile. And I will call this, I'm going to say Sanrio Ideas. Sanrio plush toys. And let's just call that like $25 or something. The Sanrio plush toys item is now under the not started category and does have that best friend tag since that's exactly where I created it from. The one caveat about your friends and family card versus your card is you need to document the gifts directly into their profile. The reason is the gift guide in the board view is using a lot of roll-ups for people identification. So if you try creating a gift this way, right, and you click assign, this is actually being pulled up by a relation and a roll-up. So if you try doing it this way, it's just gonna be a little bit more manual, and then you're gonna have to link a whole bunch of things together, which I don't think that's what we really wanna do. And now that you have a good picture of all the gifts that you wanna get, they're all going to be sorted in the not started part of the board. And once you start moving through the purchase flow, you can actually move the cards around until you meet the final step of wrapped. So you can just kind of keep moving that until you have finally reached the end of the purchase flow. And if you actually just need to take a step back from it, you can always move it back to in progress or just not start it again. And lastly, something I really want to share with you is my mobile dashboard. And this is something that you can add as a widget on your mobile device and then quickly get access to your most important to-dos just right at your fingertips. Personally, I don't find the user interface of Notion's native app to be very user-friendly or very intuitive. I actually think it's pretty clunky since the app responds to the desktop version of your customized layout. So my main hack is keeping your page width as is and then setting your to-dos view from a table to a list view and then actually grouping that by date. And now you have a perfectly streamlined checklist of all of your upcoming tasks due in the next 7 days. And you also have those extra tabs that are sorted with overdue and complete if you just kind of want to take a look at those. And then to make things extra easier, you can click the new task button that creates a new task that easily rolls up into that new task database. Below your to-do list is your personal calendar in a timeline view, and I set this in a month view versus a week view because I actually thought the week view looked a little bit more cluttered and congested, and the month one was just a little bit more visually pleasing, and it was actually probably the better setting that was very relative to the app interface. Scrolling back up, you have your 2 pages. You have your holiday market list, and then you also have your trackers that are nestled inside these pages. You can use both of these pages to track things as you go, and then you can click that back button that will take you back to the mobile dashboard. I'll actually show you what this looks like on the app on my phone. So I have it as a widget that's kind of more hidden, so it's one of the swipey widgets. All you do is add it by clicking the edit, and you just click the little plus sign at the top, and then you just type in what you're looking for. You just hit Notion, and then from there you'll be able to select like exactly what type of widget you'd like. So just hit add widget. You can choose the page. Okay, perfect. And now it's gonna pop up. I'm just gonna press on that, and this is what the interface looks like. So as you can see, you have your 2 pages at the very top, and then you have your new task button. I also have a market list button, which I'm more than happy to show you guys if you want to see that. I created that one as an extra button for myself. And then my personal calendar at the very bottom. I think it's so easy to navigate it this way, and the interface is very user-friendly. And we can go ahead and head into one of the pages. I'll hit tracker, and then now you have all of your beautiful trackers as popping up and showing for both your weekly habit trackers and your healthy habit trackers. And you can hit the back button to go back home, and you can click your holiday market guide, which will do the same thing. You have your list of goods at the very top, and then your gallery of recipes at the bottom. And then you're facing right back to that beautiful interface of the mobile dashboard. Okay, so this is what your template is going to look like. There are just some minor adjustments that you are going to have to make, which is setting the due date from the setting that is right now, which is this year, and just setting it to this month. And you're gonna have to do the same thing for the task list as well. It's gonna be set in this year, and you're just gonna have to update that to week. And then there is gonna be an instructions on how to actually set up your template. And then you can just click this drop down button below for some basic instructions on how to set it up. But most of the walkthrough is going to be in the video, so that way you could get that full comprehensive understanding of how to use the template. But definitely want to make sure I mention all of this before I forget. And that is my new autumn theme Notion tour. Well, I hope this video helped you with some inspiration on how to make Notion work better for you. I mentioned it a few times in the video that my template is completely free. If there's anything that I didn't explain well or I wasn't detailed enough, just leave me a comment below. But for now, let me know how the template went, and I will see you again. Bye!